Hello, friends. Today I wanted to talk about a collective. Um, I was watching an interview with Lee Harris, and he was trying to explain. Um, he's telling a story, and he was explaining how um, he channels the Z's. He calls them the Z's. I'm sure most of you know his story and know of him, so I won't spend too much time on that. But I thought it was interesting because when he was trying to explain um, how a collective works to the interviewer, he mentioned that um, how we tend to view um, spirits or entities as a fixed thing, and it doesn't work that way um, on the other side. And so that's when he was trying to explain how he channels multiple peoples um, through his collective. And I guess uh, what really captured my attention was the word fixed, and how we think of it as a singular and not a plural, and how um, entities on the other side are pulling from other entities. So the things that they have learned or experienced, or like other souls that have impacted their existence or lives, or however you want to put it, that's what they were pulling off of to pass on knowledge or wisdom or experiences and information, stuff like that. And I think that's the part that I fell into that group where I I think of, or thought of, spirit as a fixed entity, like this is that person or spirit or whatever. But then as I started to think about what he said and how he said it, and what he was trying to explain to the interviewer, who is not a spiritual person, she's more a science-based person, who's opening up to the concepts of spirituality, which I thought was a great interview. It was with Mayim Bialik. She did an interview, I think, a month ago with Lee. And I don't even know how. I don't watch Mayim's stuff, but for some reason it just popped up, probably because of Lee. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I just found that part fascinating, where um, it kind of like shook my chair in the way that, uh, a belief system was challenged for me personally. And, um, so I went down the rabbit hole, obviously, and I tried to like expound on that, or like, just go through the whole process of breaking down a belief system where, I just took for granted um, that everything is fixed, singular, no plural. You are what you are. And then I could see it. I could see how it works on the other side, because everything is possible if you could just imagine it. I think, well, I know for myself, I get caught up in like structure, and I'm like very hard coded to rules and boundaries at times. And then, which is very interesting because it goes, but it's the pendulum swings both ways. So dramatically for me, where I'm very rigid in some things, and I'm very like open and free flowing for other things. And I guess that's where the rabbit hole comes for me, is when a belief system or a truth of my own gets challenged and I'm aware of it. And then it makes me go inside, um, and ponder and ask questions and look in the mirror. So for this one, I actually agree with him. So I was just like, if I accept this as a truth of what he's saying, how far does it reach? Does it reach the other side? And so I was thinking about like um, myself as a person. I think like I tend to think of myself as a self, like a singular self. But then when stop, I think I'm a collective now. And not in, a collective in the sense that, there's so many entities or people or spirits or souls that have impacted my life and have gotten me to the point where I am today, right? And without these people, I wouldn't be who I am today. And so, like when I talk or explain something to somebody or share a part of myself, I'm actually sharing a part of that person also. So, like, if I was just to speak currently, when I think of like bravery, I think of Kelly B, who is facing, her battle with health through cancer, and she's so positive and um I guess the image that she portrays to me is one of inner strength. And so when I channel inner strength, she's one of the representatives of that. Or uh Annie Bear, when I think of like spiritual growth and how far somebody has come, I think of her. I think of her when like I see an instance of transformation, um, like seeing her journey has inspired me or impacted my life. And Annie Bear has been a big catalyst in my spiritual journey because without her, I would have walked away from it. Um, it's very interesting how um, people are placed in your life at the right moment. And it's just, you hear that a lot, right? But then when when you're when you're aware of it at a certain moment, whether it be through reflection or um, what have you, it just becomes more profound. Like, oh, wow, um, what perfect timing that this person showed up in my life. I could speak to like Terry and Alice. Um, they helped me. They helped me come out of my shell um, at a time when I wanted to stay in my shell and I didn't want to come out. I was scared to come out, but I knew I had to. And what's interesting was they it wasn't anything that Alice or um Terry said that maybe gave me the courage to come out of my shell and just be a little more open, or maybe put bring my walls down. It was just the fact that um, their energy is very loving and soft. And for some reason, I just put trust in them that I it was almost motherly, like that kid, like if you can imagine a kid that's at the playground for like a new playground maybe, or just goes to the playground and sees kids that they don't know that are playing on the playground, and then that kid's just a little bit like timid or shy, or you know reserved, and they don't want to play but they want to play, but they're scared to play. And then the mom just kind of like pushes them forward and says, go ahead, uh it's okay, and if it's not okay, then you can come back and I'll be right here. And that's the energy that Alice and Terry presented to me, and made it seem okay to move forward. And you know it's uh it's interesting. So like, getting back to the topic, it's like, you know as I move forward through life, right now, I'm a collection of them, in the sense that, the kindness and compassion that Terry and Alice showed to me. um I kind of exude that at times when I see other people. And granted, I'm not going to say that, oh, yeah, I think of Terry and Alice uh, in these moments. And I think of, um, Annie Bear and Kelly, or I think of Kevin or Kim Copeland in these moments. It's just, these people have played, or so many people have played an important part of my life. And experiences happen either with them or because of them. And so like, I'm a reflection of that. And so I feel like I am a collective of those people. um but I'm also the creator, right? Like, I create new moments, new opportunities, new lessons, whether I'm the healer or the healy, or um, what have you. I just found it very interesting to think of myself as a collective, but it makes so much sense, that I'm not just Richie. I'm Richie plus, plus my dad, plus my mom, plus Kevin and Kim, JJ, Annie Bear, Terry and Alice. And then, I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, even the people that we haven't met, but we've shared experiences, online and in classes and whatever. Um, it was just an interesting thought process to go through. And I I think I found new perspective, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I get a kick out of like when my chair gets shook, and I get challenged. Like, my thought process or belief system is challenged, and I get to experience like an awakening. Um, yeah, it's funny. It's like, a painting. Like, I'm not just the apple. It's not a painting of just an apple. It's like a mosaic, right? There's like all these other things that compile who I am or who we are. So it was just an interesting thought, and I thought I'd share it. That you know, spirit isn't a fixed thing. If you choose to take that as your truth, I don't. I don't want to tell people how they should think or what they should believe in or stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like for myself, a belief system was challenged yesterday, and I experienced um, growth, an awareness, a truth, a new truth. I don't know, but yeah, I just thought I'd share. It was a really cool experience. I haven't gone down too many rabbit holes lately, um, but I can save that for another video. I'll just stop here. Yeah, and so that was my thoughts on a collective and what I experienced. So hope this finds you well, and I'll see you guys on the next one.